Welcome back to the channel. My name is Eric. Normally in that camper would be my wife, Marissa. Today, she's working at our summer jobs here in Colorado. If you're new around here, we've spent the last 3 years traveling around the US, Baja, and Canada in this big giant 4x4 truck camper behind me. One of the many problems that RVers have as full-timers is not having enough food storage space. Today, we're gonna solve that problem with the help of our friends at Bougie RV. What we've got here is the Rocky 55 quart dual zone 12 volt refrigerator freezer combo that's going to be going in the backseat delete of our Ram 5500. Let's get into it.
If you haven't seen our backseat delete before, we did a full video on it last summer, but this space is like the garage for your truck camper. All our items that we don't need to access on a daily basis get stored back here. We took the back seat out of our truck and replaced it with a carpeted platform that was super simple to build, and then we added a carpeted shelf with some basic brackets to hold it in place.
I would say the thing that we're the most excited about with this Rocky dual zone fridge is our ability to carry more frozen meats with us. Both Marissa and I are big into making sure we get in enough protein in our diet, and so for us, especially with our plans to travel to Mexico this winter, back to Baja, and then to Alaska next summer, we're going to be off-grid a lot, and there are going to be periods of time where we're not able to get quite the same protein sources that we're used to. So the ability to convert this fridge from a fridge to a full freezer all the way across by removing the divider in the center and the two baskets is going to be awesome, especially for Baja when we want to carry down some high-quality meats with us, or when we go to Alaska and we're hopefully able to catch a whole bunch of salmon and other fish ourselves. We'll be able to vacuum seal them and store them inside of this Rocky freezer. That way we can have all the protein that we want in our diets. The other thing we're gonna really be utilizing this fridge freezer combo for a lot is keeping beverages cold, whether it be adult beverages or just my addiction to LaCroix seltzers. This Bougie RV Rocky fridge is gonna allow us to free up some space where normally I would have a cooler bag full of both adult beverages and seltzers. This Rocky fridge is going to take away that silly cooler bag that's been kicking around and replace it with something that's functional, where I can actually have a cold beverage on demand. If you're wondering how we're going to power the Bougie RV Rocky fridge, well, the plan is to use a power station that we've got to power the fridge inside the back seat delete, and eventually, if we decide that this is the right spot for the fridge and that it's the right fridge for us, then we'll end up wiring the whole thing into the camper so that it pulls power directly from the camper's battery and powered by our solar system. Because of how easy and convenient the setup is for this Bougie RV fridge, our install is not going to take very long. You've already watched me do half of it, which was just putting the fridge in the back seat, and I did ask Marissa for some help earlier on how she wanted things set up so that I only had to do it once. Really all you need to worry about is this bag here in terms of stuff. What comes with your Bougie RV Rocky fridge is a 12 volt power supply, or if you wanted to, you could use AC power, but that's less efficient. What's nice too is this 12 volt cord that they provide you is super long. So when the time comes that I do want to power this to the camper, I'll still be able to utilize this. I'll end up just cutting this off, or yeah, I'll end up cutting it off and probably doing like an Anderson connection so that I have some sort of port-to-port connection on the exterior of the camper. Then it's just a matter of plugging in our 12 volt power supply and powering on our power station here, and then just give it that DC power. Just heard the fridge kick on in terms of having some semblance of power. Let's see how easy this thing is to get going. As I'm starting to just familiarize myself with the Bougie RV Rocky fridge, you hit this setting button and you can toggle back and forth between Eco and Max. We're gonna put it on that, see how much we're drawing. I've got it set on -4, which is the coldest. I haven't figured out yet how to do the dual zone. Oh, that's how. So in order to control the dual zone aspect of the fridge, you're just gonna toggle back and forth the plus or minus button. If you are hitting the plus button enough that you notice that it is only the left-hand side of the screen that's adjusting for temperature, that means you're converting it into fridge mode. And also you're gonna see it do away with the negative sign. So it keeps your one section as a freezer no matter what, and then your other side has the flexibility to be both a fridge or a freezer. If you hit the negative button perpetually, it's gonna drop all the way down to -4, -4, which is freezer on both sides. So for our testing purposes, I don't know if I necessarily want that. Really, my hope is we could have one side freezer for now and one side fridge. And currently the fridge temp is what the outside air temp is, 82 degrees. Beautiful day here in central Colorado. And we are pulling 40 watts with an expectation of about 30 hours of runtime on our power station. You can see on the fridge display that the voltage has come down a little bit from 11.8 to 11.6, sometimes 11.5. What that means to me is that it is working. It's pulling the juice out of the power station in order to try and get this thing down to our cooling temperatures. I'm gonna check on this thing later on tomorrow. I have to go to work now. I know, just for people's clarification, not everybody thinks we work on this channel, but we do, summer jobs. So I'm gonna let the fridge do its thing, run off this power station, and we'll come back to check in on it in probably 12 hours to see just how cool it is. All right, so let's do a morning check-in on how the battery of the power station is doing and what the temperatures look like of the cooler fridge freezer combo. It's pretty crazy. So I came out to this power station and it's still showing 100% power. Fridge is down to 37 on the fridge side and then 27 on the freezer side. I got to admit, I am super impressed at the minimal energy consumption. I just turned the temperature setting down to make sure that it is in fact pulling some energy from the power station. And we've also got zero food in there, so no added insulation value from having, you know, frozen items in there that help radiate more cool energy once they're frozen, or at least maintain the cold energy once frozen. This was about 18 hours of runtime and still no dent in the power station, which seems crazy to believe, but I toggled it on and off to make sure it reset and it wasn't like a glitch. But we're gonna just keep letting this thing run until it dies, and I'll report back to you guys how long we're able to make it on one power station powering our gigantic new fridge freezer combo. Day 3 check-in on how the fridge is doing with our power station, giving it the juice. We are holding strong in terms of our temperatures, and our battery percentage is 68%. I think honestly what's gonna happen is I'm gonna need to finish editing this video and posting it before that battery bank or that power station actually dies completely. We'll see what the percentage is tomorrow morning and how much more juice that battery pack has consumed. Last and final check-in on the fridge. Let's see just how this battery station's doing and whether it's gonna have another day in it. I believe it's going to have another day left in it. Yeah, we still got 29% on the battery. Fridge is at 38, freezer's at 30. And it's just kicking butt and taking names in here. So let's see if that is going to die tomorrow, probably around this time. My math is correct. It'll be about 120 hours of runtime on what is basically a 50 amp hour battery setup. So that's pretty impressive. Just want to give a big thank you to Bougie RV for sponsoring this video and sending us the Rocky 50. Be sure to check out the description below so you can find out more about how you can save money on a Bougie RV Rocky 50 of your own. We're stoked about how this Rocky 50 is going to allow us to be off-grid longer and go to even more picturesque places with a big bunch of food for our bellies. Be sure to like this video, turn on notifications, and stick around to watch this next video that YouTube thinks you might like. Bye.